FLOSSTUBE. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in South Jersey. My name is Debbie, and today is Tuesday, April the 8th. Already April. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. As my channel implies, I am stitching in South Jersey. We are approximately 5 miles or so outside of the Philadelphia area, and approximately 50 miles or so from the Jersey Shore, which would be Atlantic City, Cape May, Wildwood, the lower part of the state. So welcome. This is FLOSSTUBE number 7, my March stitching update. And March was not especially productive for me. That's not true. It was productive. It was not productive in terms of the number of projects. Regardless, I still have 9 whips from March to show you. I'm going to be looking down. I have notes. Note taker. I have 1 past finish to show you. I have no new starts. And if you are returning, you know that has been my goal, no new starts. But I already started one at the beginning of the year. But I really feel like, does anybody else feel like this? We're already off on a tangent, but this shouldn't be too long. Does anybody else ever feel like a bunch of their whips are going to come to conclusion at the same time? Like, I feel like when I work on these whips, I'm like, well, I could probably have this done in X amount of time or X amount of time. And then I'm like, that's like 8 whips that could be done at the same time, which is fabulous. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, if my voice sounds a little funny or after I'm talking a while gets a little crazy, I had bronchitis for 2 weeks. I'm never sick for 2 weeks. And my voice was not good, very raspy, and still when I talk too much, it gets a little raspy. I do have water here in case I need it. I will try not to drink on screen, but I may need to. I will be very happy when my voice is back to normal. I seem to be the only one in my family that feels that way. Anyway, I will also tell you who I've been watching. I have 1 piece of haul, which I honestly cannot remember if I already showed you. I don't think I did. I think I mentioned it, but I don't think I showed you. And I am introducing a new segment at the end. If you're only interested in the stitching, thank you for watching the stitching and you don't have to stay till the end. My new segment is called It's the Little Things. And this is, it's gratitude on a tiny, funny, minuscule scale. It is not, I'm grateful for my health, I'm grateful for my family, obviously, all of those things, as we all are. We are grateful for what we have. And it is more like, it could be stitching related, it could be other craft related, it could just be one of those things, the little things. So if you'd like to participate, post in the comments one of the little things. What's your little thing for this month? And whichever comment strikes my fancy the most, I'll just read it out loud. So with your permission, if you're going to post a comment, I'm going to read it out loud next month on my update. Okay? Just something to do, because there's a little thing I'm grateful for this month, from this month's stitching. This will be stitching related, this month's little thing. I cannot guarantee that it always will be. But just funny, just keep it light, keep it, we all know we're grateful for the big things. Anyway, so we might as well get started. Again, for anybody that has ironing issues, I don't iron. I apologize for the wrinkles. I shouldn't say ironing issues. I should say wrinkle issues. If you have wrinkle issues, you may want to get a beverage of your choice that may make you feel better about that. But I did not iron anything. And if there's nothing else to show but what's in the hoop or the Q-snap, I'm leaving it in the hoop or the Q-snap. And really that's on purpose, just because there's nothing else to see. And if I have it nice and tight, I don't want to mess with it. I am filming from my kitchen again. I know a lot of you said last month you liked the sun porch, but between Killer barking at pretty much everything, and multiple visits by Amazon, UPS, FedEx, and the mailman, all while filming in 47 minutes, they all managed to go down the street. Not all for me. It was not all for me. Doesn't matter. They still go down the street. Killer still goes wild. And it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds, so there was a lot of whooshing going on out there. Ironically, it's 40-mile-an-hour winds today. But I am back in my kitchen. I am facing the opposite way. I am now looking at what you usually see behind me, which is our bar setup in the kitchen. But I am now looking at that. So I'm just facing the almost blank wall. I have a window, which you could probably see gets lighter as I move my hand over. I do not have my ring light on because the light looked pretty good when I tested it. So hopefully it will be okay. So, okay, here we go. So we're going to start with my past finish. And I told you I'm going to show you this every single month. And this is Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month. And I show you every month. This is April, obviously. And I just pop it on, pop it off. And it hangs in my office. This was a Priscilla and Chelsea idea, although I'm sure that they did a much better job of putting it all together. But this whole board thing, woo, is this a fantastic idea. And I did a series of these when my little grandman was born. And I think I told you this already. And one of these days I will remember to get them all for my daughter-in-law. I did one for his birth. I did one for certain seasons or holidays. I think there are a few gaps in there. I'm hoping they have another baby and then I'll fill in those gaps. Anyway, so that's it. April makes me happy. I love purple. And when I stitched these in 2020, obviously during the pandemic, my March Cottage of the Month stayed up extraordinarily long because I could not get fabric to do any of the other finishes. So I continued stitching, but I couldn't hang them on here. So my March was probably up till June. So I am very happy when March goes away because I'm a little sick of it. Okay, so that's that. And we're ready. Let's get started. First we have worked on this month. This one's fun. Route 66 Christmas Diner by Design Works. I am stitching this on 16 count Picture This Plus Sprite. I changed the fabric on this one. I was not using the kit fabric. I decided not to. I am using the kit floss. I started this October 13th, 2020, and it only got 2 days in 2024. Again, tiny decisions, snafu. So a few projects got skipped while others came up many times. So I'm much more careful now and I keep track. And actually, speaking of tiny decisions, I just reset my wheel on April 1st. So now I'm back to all of the projects can come up, and it's very strange because at least two of the projects that you're either going to see now or last month already came up again. So I was a little disappointed, but whatever. But this is fun. Not an easy chart. Not an easy chart to read because these are beads. I think they're beads. I don't think they're French knots. I think they're beads. And she puts those bead marks right on over the stitch. So sometimes you can't see what the stitch symbol is because the bead symbol is over top of it. Don't love that. It slows me down. But here's where I got to. Oh, this light is probably not as good as I thought it was, but too bad. We can't turn the ring light on now because I would have to get an extension cord. I can't really see what you're saying. Anyway, picture this plus Sprite. The best way I can, let me see if I hold, I'm gonna drop my needle. Let me see if I hold it back. You see the pink? I think when I hold it back, you can kind of see the pinkish a little better. It's like a very, very light pinkish purple. And I just thought that that would be, like, it's still very neutral. But I thought that that would be a nice color to do that on. It's full coverage, so honestly, it doesn't matter. But it's really nice fabric. And I had a lot of fun stitching on that one. Okay, next up, Scenic Farm by Dimensions. Love this one as well. Love this. I am stitching this on the kit fabric using the kit floss. I started this April 18th, 2020, and it got 10 days in 2024. And this is how far I am. Isn't that nice? I think this fabric is white, actually. This is what it looks like without the Dimensions back stitching. And we all know how intense Dimensions back stitching is. Can you imagine what it's going to look like once it's back stitched? I mean, that is pretty well defined, right? Because that building and that silo are not one color of red. They're probably 8 colors of red. And it's really not that long. Like, I feel like, maybe I'm wrong. That can't be the end. No, because I have too much fabric over here. But I love stitching this. And ironically, I have no problem reading dimensions charts. And other people say they're a little busy. And for some reason, I don't think so. Okay. Third is the First Thanksgiving Twin Peak Primitives. I don't know if I saw Pam or Steph working on this one, but I do know that I bought it during one of their promotions. And I love this. Anything historic, y'all know that. So I took it out of the end of the Q-snap because I want to show you something. This is going to be a big one. Let me stand back. I am stitching this on 18 count wheat Aida with the called for DMC. So sorry it's wrinkled, but this is how long it's going to be. Right? It's big. I started this September 26th, 2022. I can't see what you can see. And I did 8 days in 2024. But I took it out of the Q-snap because I want to show you something. There is a conversion someone did. Was it Finally a Farm Girl? Somebody did a conversion that Twin Peak Primitives included in the chart. So it's in there. And I was like, nah, I'm going to stitch it with all the called for. These are the called for red, white, and blue. I started another page, and when I started the other page, I decided that red was just not looking right with all these fall colors. So I picked out what I could see, because that was like on the Q-snap like that. And I replaced it with a different red. If you want to know what that red is, Actually, I replaced it with like 7 different reds before I came up with the right one. Joey, forget about it. I was like, oh my goodness, just stitch it already. Because I'm like, you like this red or is it this red? Would you prefer this red or this red? He did not want to participate. So I am much happier with this. It's deeper, but it's a little more prim. This is just a little like summer picnic, red, white, and blue for something that is the first Thanksgiving. So I may need to make some color conversions further down, and I won't be afraid to do it now that I already did it. And I obviously will go back and change these. I just couldn't get to them. I got to what I could reach. Kept the blue, kept the white. I really like the blue actually, but I had to change that red. And I've been thinking about it the last couple times I worked on it, and I just really, really, really didn't want to mess with it. And then finally decided I have to mess with it because, you know, when you keep thinking about the same thing that's making you unhappy, you have to do it. So I did it. Okay, next up, Winter's Hush by Dimensions. Also love this one. A lot of sky, a lot of snow. I stitched this with the kit Fabric and Floss. Started this May 12th, 2020, and it got 6 days in 2024. I think we're finally at the end. After this floss tube, I won't need to tell you how many days in 2024. I think we've got them all covered now. And I did not take this out of the Q-Snap simply because this is all that. It would help if the tree was actually, there we go. Whew. We got a little sky, we got a little trees. That's pretty much all we have, which is probably what slows me down. I mean, now I'm starting to make a little progress, but there's still like filling in here. It's a little confetti heavy, as Dimensions is when they get to the trees and the sky and the whole bit. But I like it. I do not like this kit fabric. It's like a blue-gray, and whew, you could throw it at somebody's head and hurt them. But it's full coverage, so it's absolutely not going to make a bit of difference, which is good. All right, next. Sorry that I'm reaching, but I don't know how else to do this. And I'm standing, like you can see how close to the wall I am. I don't have a lot of room. My goal was to sit on the chairs that we have at the island, but I could not. If I sat, I would be sitting too low, and it was just easier to stand. The camera angle was right. So, next. You saw this one last time. Tulip Easter Egg, Abstract Tulip Easter Egg by Artisy. It was a free chart not that long ago, 2 months ago maybe. I do not have a lot of spring or summer stitching. It's kind of not my favorite thing, but I thought this, after I did that abstract cat, the pop art cat for my daughter with all those crazy colors in it, I really had a lot of fun. But of course that had 10 colors in it. This has like 35 or something like that. 78, but who's counting? But isn't that pretty? And it was free. Okay, so I started this on February the 19th. You know, my No New Starts of 2025, I made it approximately 6 weeks before I started something. And I am stitching it on 20 count Ivory Zweigart Ada with all the called for colors. And this is where I am. And this is Pattern Keeper friendly, and shame on me. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I did not bother to do the stats, which I will do from now on. That's a lot of colors. It probably doesn't look quite like it, but it's fun. You know, even though it's busy and whatever, I think it does help that it is on Pattern Keeper, although I'm not a die-hard Pattern Keeper. I could take it or leave it. But if you're a stats person, pattern keeper is the key. Okay, Pandemic. This is stitched on 18 count Aida. I'm not exactly sure of the color because I lost my little card that I keep everything on. It's a gray, and I am using Sulky 4039, whose name is Holiday. And those are just notes to future Debbie. Everybody knows what this looks like, right? Okay, so let me show you what we got here. And I took it out only so that you could see. That is where I am. I think I'm on page 2, I think. So, if you recall, the last time we talked, I had discovered in Long Dog Samplers, hoity-toity that I'm doing, that they shade both pages. So at the end of page 1, there's 3 columns shaded. At the beginning of page 2, there's 3 columns shaded. It's your choice which to do. I did not know that. I did not realize that. My experience has always been page 1 is never shaded, and then the beginning of page 2 has those 3 first stitches shaded. So I caught it in hoity-toity before I did too much damage. I had to do a little bit of rescue, but it was fine. But then I thought about Pandemic, and I'm like, I bet the same thing, because you all seem to say, yeah, that's what Long Dog does. And I'm like, I bet you I didn't catch it in Pandemic. I bet you I did not catch it. And now, I already tore all of this out once. Boy, these colors are... So, I already tore all of this out once. I am using, obviously, the Sulky is what you see mostly. But for in here, in these motifs, and the animals, like the squirrel is a DMC, the birds, or the peacock, whatever they are a DMC. I have several DMCs picked out. The DMC I picked for this, stitched the entire thing, decided it didn't match, frogged it all out. Then the next time I worked on it, I put it all back. So I put it back in a different color. I like this color much better. It blends better with the Sulky. Problem with that is then I started thinking about those 3 columns, which would have meant pretty much from like over here somewhere right down, like 1 stitch in. I thought I wasn't going to have enough room for the bird because I did this, and I'm like, those 3 stitches are going to make a difference. And what choice would I have but to frog it all out, because those 3 stitches would be a huge problem for the rest of this gigantic project. It would have made more sense to frog it, as painful as that would have been. So I would have frogged pretty much everything. Turns out, somehow, I was exactly on count. I have counted this 100 different times, 100 different ways, from the first stitch here to what's over here, like over and up and down and over and across and all this weird, just counting it out, making sure it all worked. And somehow I did not make that mistake on this that I was sure that I did. I almost didn't even want to open the bag. I almost was like, no, I'm not gonna. I spent, the first day it came up on the wheel, I spent not the entire day, but the entire stitching time of that day counting and figuring. I didn't even stitch, not 1 stitch. I just needed to be so sure that I was not causing myself a huge problem. And I don't know, it was a miracle. But anyway, it was fun. I didn't really want to put this down. But by the time, I think I ended like somewhere over here. And again, these were already here. It's not I haven't filled it in yet, but by the time I was done like this, I'm like, okay, time for a break. So, but anyway, that's my pandemic story. I know I mentioned it the last time because that was scary. That was very scary. Okay, next. Hands-on design, stitch every day. Love this. It's adorable. I got this at Stitch by Stitch in Cape May. It is stitched on 18 count light orange rust with the called for colors. The fabric I bought at Needleworkers Delight when the store was open in Metuchen, New Jersey. And I started this October 4th, 2022. And I got a page finish. Isn't this cool fabric? I think it goes really well, and I think it looks, I don't know what fabric is called for, but I feel like, I know it's not this, but I feel like I got really close, right? I feel like I got really close. And I did get a page finish. However, there's always a caveat. These are, I believe they are pin stitches and Smyrna cross border. No, I just did X's. Probably took triple the amount of time, but, and I know I can do Smyrna crosses. I'm working on one that the Christmas trees are built with Smyrna crosses. I think that's Rosewood Manor Christmas quilts, which you'll see next month because that was my first spin in April. But down here, just cross stitch, just X's, and it looks fine. And I'm using all of the called for over dyed, so you get that dimension. It's really cute. This was not one of my favorites initially. I like the really big projects, but it turned out that it really is a lot of fun to stitch. And again, I gotta just show you this color again. So that's coming out a little light. Lighter, lighter, lighter. That's probably close right there. And still not quite right, but close. And I really like this fabric. It's Aida, and I'm just gonna go with a Zweigart Aida. I bought it at Needleworkers Delight, and they carried all the Zweigart, like everything. So, okay, moving on. Sleepy Hollow, fan favorite from Glenvin Place. This was one of the first projects I picked up after I realized you do not need to be a monogamous stitcher. And I just loved it. So this is stitched on 14 count Haunted by Picture This Plus, which is the called for. Having to do it again, I would not have done 14. Especially Picture This Plus, the holes are a little loosey-goosey sometimes. All the called for colors. I started this December 18th, 2019. And this one I took out of the hoop because I just love this and I wanted to see it myself. Let me stand back here. And yes, there is still there is still a needle and thread actually attached. I think I stopped halfway through a cross or something, halfway through an X, because this moon is no joke. And it's Karen Water Lilies. I think the color called for is lemon lime, and I love it. And it's like slicing through butter. But, whoo, that moon. But look, there is, wow, look at that. So now I'm getting to the fun part. I'm getting to the horseman and the headlessness of him. So that's, you know, did the trees. I'm going to be doing the moon, the border, the horse. But now I'm getting ready to get to the fun part. So I'm getting there, and I would love to get this done. See, I'm like right in here somewhere. So I'm getting ready to do his headlessness and then the head. How much fun is that going to be? I would love to see that one done for this year, and I hope it comes up, because if it comes up, I may just work on it till the end. And then, last but not least, I had another opportunity to work on Joey Forget About It super secret project, Ink Circles 99. Representing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, representing what he does for a living, representing 99 bottles are a lot of bottles to stitch. But I got 2 more done. So first I'm going to show you. So I got this one and this one done since last you saw it. I think I have 27 bottles left. How fabulous is that? So this is stitched on 16 count Picture This Plus Ale, which is not the called for fabric. I think, I don't know. Oh yes it is. Yes it is, but she used 32 count. I'm using 16 count. Thank God, my eyes would go crazy. But I think I have 27 bottles left. And tonight is my, here, I'll show you the whole thing that I've got done so far. And there's no back stitching in this. So when I'm done, I'm done. So now the way that pattern works is I will do the last 2 rows of 6. There's 3 rows on a page. So that'll be 6 and 6 is 12. And then there are 5 on the other page. So that'll be 15 total. So it's 27, and then I'm done. But tonight is my my craft meetup, and I always bring this with me. And my fellow crafters get a kick out of it because, one, there's not too many cross stitchers, but they laugh because they don't think that my husband will still be taking in breath by the time I finish it, but they may be surprised to see it this far. It's very hard to, y'all know, it's very hard to stitch. This would not be ideal to take. You should take something when you're going to craft things with, and you're going to be chatting and we have dinner and all that. You should take something that's mostly block stitching, but I choose to take something that's little teeny individual motifs with like 8 colors in each bottle. So why would I do anything differently, right? But hoping to get that done, and I will be really excited when that's done. Okay, so that is all of the stitching. Can you believe that? That was, see, it was a little disappointing. I think because I pushed for page finishes, like stitch every day, got a page finish. Pandemic, I spent 1 whole stitchy day counting. All worth it, no regrets. Still had 9 whips, but you know, content, right? Anyway, so now let's go to who I'm watching, and I have to look down because I don't remember who they all are. Steph X Stitch. She is new and she is from Wales, and she was great. So go check her out. That was fun. Darling Bluebell. That was Mika from the Netherlands. Both of them started with Whip Parades, so you may have already seen them because we all know we look for Whip Parade, and, you know, just about Whip Paraded out, I gotta say. I think I said that last month, and that is very true. I've been watching less FLOSSTUBE, and I've been doing more audiobooks or podcasts. If you ever want to, if you think that me adding a section of books, I'm doing a Goodreads challenge right now, which includes audiobooks, which, way to go, Goodreads, because that's how some people read. I love to read. have books. I have books on a Kindle, but I listen to audiobooks too. I do a lot of driving and a lot of working out, not enough working out, but listen to audiobooks. Right now I'm listening to, off on a tangent, sorry, I'll jump back to cross stitch in 1 second. Listening to Cher's memoir. Cher is, she narrates herself. She splits the narration. Some is her and some is the woman that portrays her in the Broadway show, and that's one of her good friends. And she sounds just like her. The cadence of her voice is the same. The way she finishes words is the same. Really, really interesting. Sometimes I have to ask myself which one I'm listening to, like which of the two of them. That's how good this actress is. But anyway, super interesting. Part 1, and I'm not even finished, but really interesting. And she is really, really funny. She is so amusing and so dry, and that is the type of humor that I like. I feel like I have more of a dry sense of humor, and tend to be sarcastic, and boy, is that Cher. So anyway, point of the story, back to that. Now you know what it's like to be my husband and children. Sorry. So once I got through whip parade season, I was a little whip paraded out, and I just wanted to be able to listen to something and not have to look at something. And so I've been listening to podcasts, and sometimes I'll watch like a Dateline or a 2020 on YouTube instead of cross stitch, because I can really just listen to that. It's almost like listening to a podcast. So I've been doing a lot of that. But I still have a few more that I listened to in March. Mountain Mama Stitches, Abby. I don't know if she's new. She's new to me. Recovering Book Hoarder, Tara. Great projects. I wrote that note to myself. Great projects. Moonshine Stitchery. She does some amazing finishes. She's young. I love these young people. I gotta tell you, I love the young people. Amazing finishes, and love her whip stitch book. That's what I wrote. Love her whip stitch book. I don't know if that's what she calls it, but if she doesn't, go look anyway. I mean, really, she obviously is very artistic. She's got a shop, but go give her a listen. And Rogue Mama Stitcher, who is not new to me, but one of my favorites. But all of the others above that, everyone was new to me. So I must have been, I'm thinking that I was watching their whip parades, but I subscribed to them, and I will continue to watch them once I'm kind of over the hump of the whip parade-itis. Okay, so I have one piece of haul. I joined the Atomic Ranch Fabric of the Month Club. It was interesting because you could join for the whole year, or you could join for half a year. And not only could you join for half a year, you could pick odd or even months. So they showed, I think his name is Mike. I spoke to him on the phone a few times. You could pick like January, March, May, like that, or February, April, June. And he showed you like what you would get, because you would get, you know, different colors based on those months. So that's what I did. And I picked what I call the evens: February, April, month 2, month 4, month 6. And the December is going to be a surprise. So December's the last month that I'll get. And he did not show a picture of that. That would be a surprise. But the color for February, so you could get it in, I believe, I think your choices were linen or Ada, because if he had it in Lugana, I would have done it. so I don't think he did. And I don't think he had 20 count Aida. I think he only had up to 18. So it's 18 count Aida in the colorway Forget Me Not. And now I think the way the sun is, this is going to get all kinds of blown out. I can't go back further than this. That's probably a little tiny bit lighter than it is for real. That's getting kind of close, I guess. But look at that modeling and the fabric. I've never stitched with Atomic Ranch fabric. I don't know why, I just haven't. There's a lot of fabrics I haven't tried. Look at that modeling. This is gonna make a great sky. Reminds me of, I think I picked Fiber on a Whim Celestine for a mid-Amish life, and it's gorgeous, and I feel like this would do the same exact thing in the same exact category of, like, if you're stitching anything with a sky, anything, any dimensions, because there's always a sky in it, right? So, but I'm really happy with that, and I very much look forward to getting April's. Oh, so we're in April. Should be coming. Isn't this year flying? It's not just me, right? I feel like it's really flying. Okay. So now, my new segment, It's the Little Things. We kind of already discussed this. My It's the Little Thing for the month of March was my pandemic lining up. So this one's cross stitch related. I think we've beaten this horse already, but let me just say again, it was nothing short of a miracle to me that everything lined up. I'm so happy you have no idea how happy I am that everything lined up. Yes, you do. If you've ever been in that position and you're faced with an incredible amount of frogging it out, you know how happy I was to not have to do that and to just be able to stitch on it, because if I had to take all that out, that's all I would have done. I would have made no further progress. So that is my little thing. If you have a little thing and you do not mind me reading your comment in next month's episode, then please feel free to leave me your little thing. And remember, we all know the big gratitudes. It could be funny. It could be like, that wasn't funny. It was cross-stitch related. I probably have a dozen crochet related. It's the little things. Most frustrating thing I've ever done. Crochet is still very new to me. I think it's now officially 2 years, which in the life of a crocheter, if you're a crocheter, is absolutely nothing. It's like you're still in preschool, because there is so much to learn, and it's not even the stitches so much as it's the visual. You just need to see things so differently when you crochet, and I assume knitting would be the same way. And then one day it's just there. Like, that's how you know you're making progress or growing as a crocheter, because all of a sudden you finally see what they've been saying. And if you know, you know. But woo, did I make some mistakes on a few things I did? Oh, no need to even go into it. It just doesn't matter. Someday maybe I'll show you some of my crochet projects. I feel like I jumped in with both feet. I already made 3, 4, 5 wearables, and my craft group that I'm going to see tonight says, like, you know, you didn't start with like a blanket. Like, you should start with something easy. No, that'd just be nonsense. But anyway, I am taking one of my mistakes with me tonight and hoping that the ladies can figure it out for me, because collectively they've probably all been stitching like, I don't know, 600 years or something like that. There's a lot of them. I'm not saying they're old necessarily. I'm saying there's a lot of people that can give me good advice tonight. So I'm bringing it with me and hoping that they can help me figure out a way to turn it into the tank top that it was meant to be for my daughter, who I actually measured and still got it wrong. It's a lot easier to stretch yarn than it is to shrink it. Just note to anybody out there. Plans. No plans. Plans are to just keep doing. Like I said, I feel like I'm getting to like milestones on projects as they come up, probably at least 2 projects a month that I see, that I have seen since the beginning of the year. I feel like I'm getting to like the milestone mark, like page finish or halfway or whatever the milestone is. And that makes me want to work on it longer, which then leaves less projects for the month. But I feel like it also is stopping me from having new startitis, because I feel like I'm making such progress that I don't want to throw yet another thing in. And the tulip Easter egg was enough of a random, oh my God, why am I starting this? Because we're traveling, and we all know that when you travel, you don't bring something that is that confetti heavy. So I don't know who I was fooling. Maybe Joey, forget about it, bought in, but nobody else did, not even me. So that is all I have. Again, if you have one of the It's the Little Things, please put it in the comments. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. I love all your comments. I read all your comments. I reply when I can, especially when the video first goes up, because they kind of come in at a rapid pace and I'm kind of in tune to it. So that's it. And I will see you at the beginning of May. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.